When tragedy forces us to reassess our values, it can serve as a painful reminder of what's truly important in our lives. I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of families that pulled together in their darkest moments on Rescue 911. We begin on December 13th, 1992 in Rogers, Arkansas, as Mike and Karen Hall and her 9-year-old son Andrew were looking forward to spending their first Christmas together since Mike and Karen's marriage the summer before.
Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. God bless Mom and Dad and Andrew, that's me, and everyone else in the world. Every night when my mom and dad say my prayers with me, and then I say goodnight, and then they shut the door. I was really thirsty. I just figured that I'd get a drink. There was a lot of smoke. The Cub Scouts taught me to get out of the house very quickly and call the fire department. Mom! Dad! I yelled for Mom and Dad so they would wake up.
Benton County 911.
When the call for help came in, Rogers police officer Brian Walters happened to be in the dispatch center.
Or Washington
It was only a couple of miles away from the police station.
Okay.
I thought if I could get there, I could contain the fire with my fire extinguisher.
My aunt is a semi-invalid, and so I was making sure that she got out. Then I realized that I didn't see my husband on the front of the house.
Andrew, take Aunt Vivian over there!
I was panicked. The fire had really become an inferno.
I was scared pretty much because I thought she might get trapped by the flames.
When we continue,
I was under the assumption that it was a very small fire, and my first reaction was just, my God, this thing is huge.
when a fire broke out while the Hall family was sleeping, 9-year-old Andrew, his mother Karen, and her aunt managed to get out of the house. But when Karen realized her husband Mike was still inside, she made the mistake of running back into the burning building.
The flames were coming out of the window.
Take Aunt Vivian across the street!
I was thinking that my stepfather wouldn't make it out in time.
Officer Walters arrived at the scene in less than 3 minutes.
I was under the assumption that it was a very small fire, and my first reaction was just, my God, this thing is huge. When the wife approached me, she was hysterical, screaming, he's in there, he's in there. But I couldn't imagine anyone living through something like that. Since I couldn't enter the front or the side of the structure, the back was the only alternative. It was very hot. It was real hard to breathe.
There was lots of black billowing smoke and heat, and that Mike was still in the house was very frightening to me.
I can't get in there.
I asked her which room he was in specifically.
This one here!
I told her to go around and wait for the fire department.
Okay.
Because I didn't want her to see her husband in the condition that he may be in. I could not see in the room at all.
Please!
I screamed several times, but there was no response.
Within a few minutes, units with the Rogers Fire Department arrived.
The living room area was fully involved. Was getting ready to go into the roof area
When it gets into there, the rest of the house can go real fast after that.
Firefighter Billy Bell headed around to the bedroom window.
Ronnie's in this window. Supposed to be in here.
The flame had not made it back to the bedroom area, but there was enough heat and smoke that I knew it was getting close, so I knew there wasn't a lot of time. It was hot, well over 1,000 degrees at the ceiling area. I honestly wouldn't have said that he was alive for sure at all.
Found the body. Toward my voice, Bill.
I drug him to the window. From there, it was just kind of a horse and push until I could have some help from the outside.
When I heard that they had found Mike, I asked if I could go back and see him. They told me that I couldn't. I was put into one of their vehicles, which had a radio, and did hear that Mike was in respiratory arrest, which frightened me.
Wesley Lewis was the first paramedic to reach the victim.
With that intense heat and that much smoke, I was not expecting to find a survivor. I figured it'd be more of a coroner call. He had actually quit breathing, but he did have a pulse. And we opened his airway and he took 2 gasping breaths. I was very surprised to even see him making an effort to breathe, and I hoped that he did have a chance, at least.
At St. Mary Rogers Memorial Hospital, emergency physician Lee Fincher took over Mike's care.
The patient was deeply unconscious. He was unresponsive. He was in critical condition at that time.
Ready?
Good suction, Ray.
The major thing we're concerned about is the damage done to the lungs and to the brain from lack of oxygen. It was a possibility that he would not make it out of the emergency room. It was also a possibility that he would make it out of the emergency room as a breathing body with a heartbeat, but no brain functions left.
It was hard to see him laying there, having his life sustained by machines. And told him how much I loved him. Told him that he was going to make it. You know, that he was a strong man and would fight.
By the 3rd day after the fire, Mike was much improved, but he was still unable to speak.
He wrote a note that said, "Who saved my life?" and my mom wrote, "Andrew did."
Mike wrote, "Thank you for saving my life" to Andrew. Tears were in Mike's eyes, and Andrew started tearing up also, but he was trying to be so brave that he turned towards the window so his dad couldn't see him cry.
Didn't you guys just hear that rifle?
1 year later, Mike Hall and his family have a lot to be thankful for.
The best thing that came out of this for me was the way it brought Andrew and I closer together, more like a father and son.
He has the qualities to be a very good father, and another good quality that he has is to go fishing very well.
Well, honey, they'll have to be right up at the very top.
When you go through something as devastating as this, you realize how inconsequential material things are. Make the time for your family, make the time for your friends, because that's what's going to be there when everything else is gone.
An investigation of the fire subsequently determined that it was caused by a spark from an extension cord.
If you have a smoke detector, make sure they work properly. If you don't have smoke detectors, get one.
If Andrew hadn't known what to do, we all would have died. It makes me want to give him a hug every time. I love him so much.
Next.
On the hill.
Is he breathing at all?
No, he's not even awake.
She said he can't breathe, indicating this is a critical emergency and we're going to have to move quick.
In Calgary, Canada, on August 23, 1993, 4-year-old Jordan Penner was playing in his backyard with his best friend, 8-year-old Munden Garland. Jordan's mother, Julie, tried hard to make her house safe and keep her kids protected. But before the day was over, she found out that sometimes it's the smallest things that that can pose the greatest threat to a child's life.
There's a 4-year age difference, but Jordan idolizes Munden. Munden's really cool. So when they get together, they always have a really good time.
Jordan, he's my best buddy. One time he said he loved me as a brother, then that sort of pounded my heart, because Jordan's like a brother to me too.
Jordan, I'm going to work now.
I'll see you later. Have a good day.
For a few hours after school each day, Jordan and his younger sister have 14-year-old Terry Lee Stratton for a babysitter.
The kids took to her instantly, and I did too, because she's got this quiet, shy side, and I can relate to that.
I've been babysitting for a long time. I don't remember when I started babysitting for people.
John should be home around 6:30.
Julie told me what they can play with, and then she left.
Jordan went over to the garden. He was starting to pick some peas. I told him, don't eat those peas because they're not ripe yet. And he said, no. He had like 5. He like shoved 5 in his mouth almost. And in the last bite he took, he had a whole handful in his mouth. I thought he was like playing trick because he always plays trick. I said, are you joking? Then he never answered back.
London? Oh my God!
Calgary Paramedic Dispatch.
He can't breathe. Jordan?
Address.
40 Hill.
Is he breathing at all?
No, he's not even awake.
Did he choke?
I don't know. He was outside.
City of Calgary EMS dispatcher Don Sharp took the call for help.
She said he can't breathe, indicating this is a critical emergency and we're going to have to move quick. Listen, the ambulance is on the way. Now I'm going to tell you exactly what to do until they get there. How old is he?
He's 4.
Okay, now listen closely to me. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Don't hang up.
Okay, what?
Tell me what happened.
I think he was eating peas. I think he choked on one. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Is he awake at all?
No, his eyes are closed and he's not moving.
Can he breathe at all? Listen carefully to me. Can he breathe at all?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to tell you how to help him, okay? Get him as close to the phone as possible.
Oh my God!
Okay.
He keeps on going.
Okay, now listen closely. We use a technique called repetitive persistence, and I use a voice control to try to get her to relax. I'm going to tell you how to do the Heimlich maneuver, okay? Now listen to me, you're going to have to calm down if we're going to help him. Where is he right now?
I was crying and I was like worried and I didn't know what to do.
Lay him face up on the floor.
Okay.
Straddle his legs with your legs.
Pardon?
Straddle his legs with your legs, almost like you're sitting on his knees, okay?
Okay.
Put the heel of one hand on the child's stomach, just above his belly button. Do you understand me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Push quickly down into the stomach 6 times, then check his mouth for an object. Do it right now.
His eyes are open. He won't let me open his mouth.
Did anything come out of his mouth?
No, he won't let me open his mouth.
Okay, so he's clenched down, is he?
Yeah, on his tongue.
Okay. Now I want you to listen very carefully. Okay, put your ear down close to his mouth and nose and feel or listen for any breathing.
Okay. Oh my God!
Now listen very closely. They're coming. Now listen very closely. Is his mouth relaxed at all? Can he open his mouth?
No.
Ma'am? Okay, now listen. I want you to repeat the Heimlich maneuver another 6 times.
Okay.
Do it now. Come right back to the phone.
I wasn't really thinking what was going to happen. It's just what had to happen. That Jordan had to be safe.
Okay. Tilt his head back. Pinch his nose.
Just wait.
Everything we do in dispatch is completely non-visual, and they become my hands and my eyes in the field. Okay, now I want you to put your mouth over his mouth. Completely cover his mouth with yours and blow 2 soft breaths of air into his lungs. Watch for his chest to rise. Do it now. Okay. Can you feel the air going in? Did you see the chest rise?
I'm not sure. They're here.
Okay. You tell them what happened. They'll take over.
Okay.
You did a really good job, okay? You did a good job. They'll take over now.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye. She did a terrific job, but it sounded like it was going to be real close.
I thought he was gonna die. Then I went around to the front, and I was on the fence, started crying because I was really sad.
Calgary EMS Advanced Life Support paramedic Dave Lowry and his partner Roxanne Bergen arrived within 4 minutes of the call.
What's the problem?
Not breathing.
I got almost a tunnel vision because once you see someone that age who's turning blue, you know you don't have very much time.
Okay. I was thinking that Jordan wasn't going to live, and he was only little, and he didn't get to live his life.
He's not breathing right now. I think it is an obstructed airway.
Okay.
The primary thing I was concerned about was getting an airway.
Around 6 minutes, we get brain damage, and longer than that, you just don't know.
I could see immediately when I looked down into his throat that there was a P in his vocal cords. It was acting like a cork. It wouldn't budge.
It's not going in?
I can't get it with this.
He's okay, this isn't working.
So then I grabbed a long hollow tube that we put down in your throat to breathe for you. What I did with the tube was, since I couldn't get the pee out, I just pushed it in and went in the lungs.
Okay, we're in.
And started to breathe for him.
Have a listen to his chest.
I certainly will.
I think we're in though now.
It's emotional. It's always emotional when kids are involved. They're too young to die. You know, they don't deserve to die like that.
Closer to the hospital, we noticed some posturing, which is where he became stiff and his hands flexed outwards. I really had a terrible feeling inside after seeing Jordan because we always associate posturing with brain damage.
What's his name? Jordan.
At Alberta Children's Hospital, Dr. Ian Mitchell was the pediatric chest specialist on call.
He'd suffered significant oxygen lack to his brain. The breathing tube inserted by the paramedics was maintaining his life with assistance, but he only had one lung, so it was very clear that we had to remove the PE very quickly.
I'll come give you a hand.
Okay.
Just giving him a little bit of sedation here. Well, he was in the
They said something about posturing, and as far as I had known, posturing means brain damage, and I thought, okay, if my little boy lives, which would be wonderful. Please, God, let him live. He's going to have brain damage. He's supposed to start school.
The OR's been notified, so they'll be ready for us when we go.
So all I could do was hope. All I could do was think positive. And that was my little guy, and I wanted him back.
Ready?
Jordan was taken into surgery to remove the pee from his lungs.
Where is the pee? Once I saw the pee and put forceps down, I extracted it through the tube. Okay, now I need suction now.
Gonna be better soon.
John Penner joined his wife at their son's bedside.
Everybody's thinking about you.
Julie mentioned something about brain damage. I thought if there was brain damage, he wouldn't remember us. And he wouldn't be basically the same little guy that I've had.
I sang to him, read him a story. John and I stayed with him and talked to him. Told him everybody was thinking about him. And we're all just waiting for him to get better. He was all hooked up and everything, but he opened up his eyes. And he couldn't speak because of these things down his throat. And he looked right at me, and he mouthed the words, he mouthed, "Mom, I'm thirsty." And it was really amazing. It was like having him, giving birth to him all over again. It was such a good feeling. Go catch up to Sis. Bet you can't catch her.
4-year-old Jordan Penner was released from the hospital without any sign of brain damage.
And there's a big dinosaur in the bushes over here. I can't believe it ever happened in the first place. But I'm thankful that we had Terry act the way she did. I think she did great.
She called 911 right away. If it weren't for her, I don't know if Jordan would be here right now.
Everyone was telling me I did a good job, and I feel I helped, but I'm not the hero.
Even though she didn't have CPR or first aid knowledge, she did the best thing she could have. She simply called 911 and got the system going. And that's what saved Jordan.
It's made me appreciate everybody and everything. It's made me really nervous around small heart candies and garden vegetables.
I hate peas.
I think the big lesson is just how important the children are. We almost lost one, and the realization of just how really important he is hit me.
Next.
It took me maybe about 3 or 4 seconds to focus on who it was laying on the street, and when I saw his back, I thought, there goes my little brother.
On July 20th, 1992, the day before Taylor Hall was going to celebrate his 7th birthday, the one gift he had wanted most arrived at his home in Corona, California. His mother Julie, his father, and his 5 sisters and brothers shared his excitement, never once imagining what might happen after he opened the box.
We never allow our children to open their presents before their birthday. But my husband Steve was going out of town. And I said, okay, we'll let you open your present. Unbeknownst to me, the kids told me later that he did skate around the house. He loves skates, and he lives on them. I don't think there's a day where he's not skated.
The oldest of the Hall's 6 children is 18-year-old Chris.
The next day, Taylor came in and he just started begging and begging and begging. Oh, Mom, please let me go out and play.
Got about an hour. Sorry, bud.
And finally, I just got fed up. I go, Mom, just let him go. Give him the rollerblades, let the kid go out and play. He'll be fine. It's no big deal. You know, hey, you'll be all right, you know.
He literally wore me down, and I said, okay. He could go out and just show his friends, and then he had to come back to do his work.
I looked out the door and there was a guy sitting in the middle of the street just screaming. It took me maybe about 3 or 4 seconds to focus on who it was laying on the street. And when I saw his back, when I could see his spine, I thought, there goes my little brother, in just a flash of a second.
When I heard the scream, I felt something that mothers never want to feel, that something's really bad wrong.
Mom.
I guess I was wishing that it wasn't him.
Don't move. The top of his rear end to the middle of his back, I could see it split open. And the first reaction I had was just keep him from moving.
Don't move.
He was in so much pain. He just kept saying, I'm gonna die. I just wanted to say, Taylor, I love you, Taylor, I love you, Taylor. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to die.
Don't move. It's gonna be okay, bud.
His legs were just limp. And he had tire tracks embedded in his legs.
Taylor, you're gonna be okay.
It's okay. He was saying, it hurts, Mommy, it hurts, Mommy.
It's gonna be all right.
And that was tough. You never want to hear that from your child.
Within 3 minutes of the call, the Corona Fire Department arrived at the scene, led by EMT Captain Mark Kipley.
Coming down the street, I see a water truck sitting there. And My first thought in my head is, oh no.
You guys backing up with that?
The amount of traumatic injury that could be involved with a delivery water truck that's estimated weight at about 15,000 pounds, that puts the intensity right to the ceiling.
Moments later, an advanced life support unit arrived, including paramedic Curtis James.
He had a tearing type of laceration that traveled down the middle of his buttocks and stopped just behind his scrotum. The turning of the tires must have rotated him to a point where it just kind of pulled him apart.
1, 2, 3. Riverside General Hospital, 9802. Okay.
He knows something's wrong, and he knows he's hurt. He looks right at your eyes like, help me, because he's looking for you to take him out of this terrible mess. You don't even know if he's going to make it. And that hits you right in the heart.
At Riverside General Hospital, head emergency nurse Janet Petrovich was part of the trauma team.
X-rays on their way. Okay.
The thing that scared me the most was because of the extensive lacerations and the fact that it covered bone and his gut and his muscle tissue, we were afraid that infection could kill him. He said, I'm scared. And then he said he was afraid that he might die. When a patient says that, we get worried, because usually they have a feeling that something's going wrong inside their body. We try to reassure them as much as possible, but sometimes we just have to keep our fingers crossed that they're not right. A few minutes before he goes to the operator.
He's doing fine. They told us that they wouldn't know all the extent of his injuries until they went in and really saw what was going on. But I didn't care because he was alive.
Mom's here.
Taylor underwent 2.5 hours of surgery. He was transferred to Kaiser Permanente Medical Center, where surgeon Robert Rudick took over his care.
The biggest fears that we had on admission were that he just would not be able to walk and wouldn't be able to eliminate waste. To divert the fecal stream, he had to have a colostomy. He also had a tube in his bladder that would allow his urine to come out. They're very traumatic psychologically to parents and certainly to a child.
His sister Angela and the rest of the Hall children came to visit him.
He was in intensive care and they wouldn't let us see him. We walked around the outside of the hospital and we found his room.
Hi, is that your family? Let's open the windows.
He wanted to reach out and he wanted to grab him and he wanted to hold him, and he was just sitting there strapped to all these machines.
Love you.
I blew him a kiss goodbye. And he reached out and he got it.
Hey, Taylor, I'm gonna try and get you.
Within 6 days of the accident, Taylor had made remarkable progress.
We knew that his bones were healing. All his other wounds were healing as well, and he was really getting a cabin fever, wanted to move around, wanted to prove to everybody that he was able to do this. Basically, I said, why not? Let's get going.
Now, what I want you to do is I want you to step with this leg first.
There you go. Good job.
And I honestly didn't think he was up to it, but he just wanted it so bad.
Way to go, buddy.
He was going to walk again. That was the most wonderful feeling in the world.
7-year-old Taylor Hall spent nearly 4 weeks in the hospital and underwent months of painful physical therapy.
It's been a year since the accident, and Taylor is incredible. His doctors say that he's a walking miracle. There's no reason that he should be alive. And I don't know why I am so lucky to keep him.
I felt like I was jello and like I was gonna die. But then everybody came out and started helping me. I didn't like it when I got run over one day before my birthday.
I think for rollerblade safety, all the safety gear should be worn all the time, because you never know when you're going to take that spill. Learning to stop and where to ride, those things need to be addressed every time they take them out.
Taylor's father, Steve, is proud of how his son has proven he can overcome obstacles.
He loves to roller skate, ice skate. Basically, all the things that he did before, he still does now. He just doesn't run as fast or as fluid as he used to. He's got a real positive attitude about things. I don't think there was ever, in his mind, a thought that he wouldn't get better.
I never thought in a million years that he would be the way he is today. What he's accomplished and what he's done, and the miracle that he's still alive just makes him one of the most special kids that I know. I'm ecstatic to have him back. I love him.
Next.
One of the police officers came up to me and said, "Your son was huffing butane." And I couldn't believe that Brad would choose to do something like this.
Get my mom!
On April 11th, 1992, in a suburb of Tulsa, Oklahoma, 15-year-old Brad Kay had planned to spend the afternoon with his usual group of close friends who lived in the neighborhood. He and his father, Tom, got along well, but Tom had no idea of the tragic risks his only son was taking.
Brad was all-American boy. He was adventuresome, intelligent, inquisitive. He was sometimes mischievous. He'd walk into a room, and in a matter of minutes, he'd have the whole place in an uproar.
I remember him riding up the street like he always did.
What's going on?
Not much. He was my best friend. He was like my little brother.
Rodney Price, whom Brad had known since he was 5, lived less than a block away.
When we were all bored, he would usually find something to do, or he'd say something, a joke or something. He was hilarious. He'd make everybody laugh.
Another close friend, Aaron Albrecht, was also over at Rodney's that day.
We were talking. Someone had mentioned butane, so we decided to go up to the store. Me, Brad, and another friend.
See you later.
Huffing. It was kind of like a fad. Everybody at school was doing it. Brad, he loved it because he made him feel like he was invincible or different or something. I mean, and I felt the same thing. I liked it too.
We drove around for about an hour or an hour and a half, and we kept on inhaling butane. Brad did about a whole can, but he was being normal as far as I could tell. You know, I didn't see anything different besides him laughing all the time. We came back here. Brad was walking in front of me. Come on, Brad. I said, come on, get up.
Brad.
He wouldn't get up. I didn't know
Brad.
what was going on.
Rodney.
My heart was racing. I was
Rodney.
freaking out.
Oh, God.
Brad.
The way he was on the ground looked like, I mean, there was something really wrong. He wasn't breathing.
Come on, Brad.
Get my mom.
Get up, please.
I was scared to death.
Rhonda Brown, a registered nurse, was at home 2 doors up the street.
And I heard the kids screaming. And I thought, great, somebody's fighting. And so I looked up over the fence, and I could see Brad laying on the ground. Brad was my favorite out of the whole neighborhood, and everybody knew it. So to see this kid lying on the ground, it was very hard.
Brad!
He was making a sound where you could tell no air was moving in his lungs. A car pulled up at that point, and a man came out of the car, and he said, I know CPR. He checked for a pulse. He said he doesn't have a pulse.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and breathe.
One of the kids had run to get Brad's father, Tom Kay.
I didn't know whether he had an accident, somebody had shot him. I couldn't understand why my son was on the ground not breathing. I couldn't comprehend what was going on.
3 and 4 and... Come on, Brad.
He only responded to me one time, and he looked straight at me, and he went and took a full breath.
Come on, that's it.
That was the only breath he took that was effective. And that's where it dawned on me, you know, we may lose this kid.
Rescue units with the Broken Arrow Fire Department arrived within 5 minutes, including EMT Paul Thompson.
The way the neighborhood was responding, you could tell that this young man was important to a lot of people.
What we got?
It was obvious that he was starving for oxygen. And then when I realized that Brad was in cardiac arrest, I put my pads on the chest of the patient. I hooked up my defibrillator.
Everybody stand back. Shock's being advised. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Shock is delivered. Okay, we're checking for pulse.
The first shock, it had no effect on the patient at all. And so I shocked him again. And then after the second shock, I checked for pulse. I did have a pulse.
Keep breathing him, Jeff. Doing good. 1, 2, 3. Keep that airway.
We're all taught if you get to somebody quickly, you can save their life. Brad no more than hit the ground than somebody was by his side. So I really had a lot of hope that things would turn out.
Brad Kay was taken to St. Francis Hospital, where he was examined by pediatric intensive care specialist Dr. Michael Stoyko.
You on an epi drip?
He unfortunately was minimally responsive. By filling the lungs with butane, the lungs no longer had oxygen, and the oxygen levels in his blood dropped rapidly.
The bed's clear.
But you could look at his face, and you could see a beautiful, vital young man there who did something intentionally, who was now laying there helpless. Everybody was just very, very depressed, knowing that this could have been prevented.
All Tom and Jan Kay could do was wait for word of their son's condition.
One of the police officers came up to me and said, "Your son was huffing butane." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "Well, that's where they inhale the butane out of the can." And I thought, oh, Lord. I couldn't believe that Brad would choose to do something like this.
You just keep hoping that this is not really happening, and it didn't seem real. It seemed like this was happening to someone else.
He's not opening his eyes, he's not moving around, and that's very worrisome that his brain may be very seriously injured.
The initial prognosis that I told the parents was that he was very unlikely to survive.
That would make sense.
At that point, our hearts just sunk, absolutely sunk.
You'll see the little pad on his chest here, what that's doing now.
There was just no change in Brad at all. From the first time that I saw him to the last time that I saw him.
So it's been a rough road here for the last hour.
You know, miracles happen every day, and I thought, why can't one happen for us?
Mr. and Mrs. K.
At 5:30, they came in and they said
Brad's blood pressure.
Brad was failing.
We need to go in and be with
If you want to say something to your son, now's the time. So we went in there and spent the last moments with him. And we held his hand as he slipped away. There was nothing we could do.
At 6:01 a.m., less than 11 hours after he collapsed from inhaling butane, 15-year-old Brad Kay was pronounced dead.
The lesson I would love to have people learn is that, contrary to what their peers may be telling them, these types of drugs are very dangerous. You are essentially playing Russian roulette. The tragedy here is one of ignorance. There are probably thousands of children out there who are inhaling these various chemicals, and probably as we speak, one of them is dying.
I still have a picture in my wallet of him, just to remind me. I don't want to forget about him. If Brad never died, I'd probably still be huffing right now. But that right there is something that'll just kill you. I mean, even though it didn't, I'm not dead. I mean, it seems like some part of me's dead because Brad died. It seems like part of me's missing.
I always knew teenagers weren't invincible, even though they think they are. It's sad that it took him for everybody to learn a lesson. I miss him.
If I could do anything to bring him back, I would.
It'll be a very long time for both Jan and I to recover totally, and we probably never will. We'll always hold a very, very special part of Brad in our hearts. See a boy Brad's age and you wonder what Brad would have grown up to be. He had a lot of opportunity. And Brad's not going to be able to fulfill those opportunities at this point because he made a terrible, terrible mistake.
Hundreds of deaths have been attributed to huffing toxic inhalants, such as butane, spray paint, aerosols, glues, solvents, and sealants, to try to get high. Most of the people who died were less than 20 years old, and the number of deaths is rising. This series is dedicated to all the men, women, and children who aid and comfort us in times of trouble. I'm William Shatner. Join us again next week for more true stories on Rescue 911.
Shapiro, step out of the car, please.